Hi everyone, this is Audrey with the Creator's Attic. I had a brainstorm this morning while I was playing around with some of my smaller dies and some scrap paper, and then I had just this harebrained idea and I was going to get it out here, and I figured I would just do it live with you guys on video. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be making stickers using different types of things to make the stickers. So you can have the stickers and you can use them when you want them and have them on hand. So I was thinking that I was going to need a way to adhere certain things, double-sided, but still have a background in which they would be able to stick on until I got ready to use them. So here's what I came up with. I grabbed a piece of parchment paper. I would think that wax paper may work a little bit better, but I don't have any. But any just kind of non-stick paper that you, waxy type paper you may have around. And so I was thinking about taking this. And of course, I'm going to use my Sizzix machine here, my well-loved Sizzix machine. You can use, I guess, any kind of die cut you want, or you could possibly do this with a sharp punch. I'm not sure how well your punches will work. I guess it's according to how sharp they are and the thickness of the materials you are using. Sometimes the duller paper punches will work better when you put something kind of hard behind them, so you may have to kind of put that underneath your wax paper and then lay everything else on top. But let's get to it. And so I just was playing with little die cuts. I never really get a chance to play because I'm always so busy filling orders in my Etsy store, and I just thought this morning I would go ahead and just try to make have a playful morning. I thought it would be good for me. So I'm basically gonna, these Sizzix things are plates are not very wide, so we can only do it so big. So I was just making this a little bit smaller than my plate, and I'm just going to cut it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I may trim it down a little bit more. So what I first of all want to do is I want to make sure that I adhere it to my plate. I guess you could skip this step if you wanted to and just kind of lay it on top of the plate when you were ready. But I just kind of went ahead and get things into place. So I'm going to put this on here. And then I do this to a lot of my die cuts. Sometimes when I put them down, I will, let's say, just for example, I just want to throw this out there. If I wanted to cut this out, and I wanted it to be a certain way and stay straight on my plate as it went through, a lot of times I will just put a piece of washi down exactly like I want it, because you know how they shift when you, after you get them on the plates and you start running them through the machine. And I just do this, and it keeps it in place like I want it, and I just put it through, and it cuts out the straightness that I want it, and you can play with it a little bit. And of course I would have a piece of paper or something under here, but I'm just using this as an example. And I would just cut it out and then just take the washi tape off, because it wouldn't tear anything and my thing would be straighter. And I am so out of focus. Okay, I'm sorry about that. So basically I was just saying, if this didn't get in frame, lay it down to the straightness that you want, put the piece of washi over the top, and then run it through the machine. Okay, so sorry about that. But you can always peel the washi off, and that's a great thing. I have this washi, and I'm not a big leopard print person. I'm kind of more of floral, Victorian, vintage kind of girl. So I use that as just some washi tape that I have. Just want to use that. Okay, so I digress. So let me go back to what I was thinking. Okay, so I'm going to lay this down, and just to keep it still while I'm putting things on, I'm just going to tape it at the top with my washi tape like this, and just one of the plates. And I just want to kind of be able to keep it straight as I'm putting things on here and stretched out. And my plate is kind of warped, so if yours is sort of warped, we will see if this works together on our warped plates. But I don't think that's going to really make that much of a difference, but we'll see. All right, so next I wanted to take some double-sided tape. So this way, when I am making my cuts, I will have sticky on both sides. And I'm going to try this in 3 ways. I'm going to try it with fabric to make fabric stickers. I'm going to try it with washi tape. You can make stickers out of your washi tape. So you can transform your washi tape, and even though it is sticky on one side, you can make it sticky on, you can make it even, well, let's just do it. I'll show you how. And then we're going to try it on just some scraps. I have this pretty little scrap piece of paper. I got a 12 by 12 piece of scrap paper out and just started playing with it. And it came up with all kinds of ideas. And one thing led down to another thing. And you know how those wormholes can happen. But I'm just going to lay down some double-sided tape. And, you know, it doesn't have to be super straight, but I'm just going to lay it down. And I'm just going to try to layer it down in rolls. So I'm going to go ahead and take this first piece of double-sided tape. I'm using a wider piece of double-sided tape, but sometimes these things don't want to separate for us, do they? Let's see. I may actually take this up and try to take this off before I lay it down. Okay, come on, don't take forever. If I had a camera where I could, or if I had the know-how of, I'm working on it, on learning how to speed these things up on the video or pause while I do this, I would, but my phone does not allow that to happen. Okay, so I've been getting it started, laying it down, and whoop! Okay, I'm just gonna lay a piece down. Lay down piece. Okay, doesn't want to lay down because it doesn't want to adhere to this wax paper, but we will figure this out. I'm going to just lay down. I may just be able to utilize part of this. Okay, that's not working. I'm sorry, let's try this one more time. Now that we've kind of figured out how we want it. This is going to be the tricky part, is getting the double-sided tape to go down onto our wax paper without wanting to come up with us. Maybe I'll just get it started and then leave the tab so I can pull it up once I put my object on top of it. Yeah, I think that may be a better choice. Trial and error. That's kind of how it happens in the craft room. Just trial and error, and you, okay, you learn one thing, and I need to learn how to better get this double-sided tape up off of the thing. Okay, see, I've just got a little bit. So I'm just going to lay that down so when I want to start it, I can. Okay, I'm going to lay this down and like this. All right, now I'm going to take another piece and do the same thing. And I'm just going to try this in just to where it will be wide enough to fit into my die cut. So try this again. Maybe I'll get lucky and I won't waste your time. You know, you can always like fast forward through this part until I get the washi down. Okay, I think this time, we're getting better. More practice. Okay, gonna lay it down next to that one. So this should be about the width that I want to try my first sticker. All right, so let's try this. I'm going to go ahead and pick out what I want to use here to form my sticker. And then, of course, I'll pick out my die cut. Okay, so I have some thicker washi. You don't have to use your washi, like I said. We can even start with material. Here's a scrap. Let's do that. All right, so what I want to do is I want to make this a double-sided sticker, and I want to be able to take it off when I want to. So let's pull this up. I may need to hold it down with something else and try to pull it up. Okay. Now, let me see if I go ahead and lay this over the top, if I can get this other one started up this way. If you don't have double-sided tape, you can get this on Amazon. You can get it in different widths. I have different widths. And it works really well in the place. And the reason why I'm doing this is because sometimes we don't want to get glue all over our pages when we're putting down smaller objects. And sometimes, face it, it's fun to make your own stickers. Sometimes when you make things out of nothing, or make things out of your own and out of just simple items, sometimes it's just really means more. Okay, this is kind of bluffy, but this is our first try, so we can just kind of play around with it as we go. I don't know where bluffy came from, but we're going to go ahead and use this one. All right, so that's okay. Let's just leave it alone and let's just go with that. It doesn't look great, but this is our first time through, so let's try it. What do I want to put on here? I want to do I want to make a heart, a flower? I'm just grabbing some of my smaller die cuts. How about we put, make a little window tag here. All right, and of course this is going to stick to our paper, or I mean our other side, which I didn't think about. So I'm going to take a piece of paper, a little scrap piece of paper. See, I always have some laying around from doing my orders. And I'm going to put that over that. So this won't, I'd be all crazy tape. Okay. Putting this down where the tape was. Now, this looks like a complete mess, but I think it will work. And I'm not going to be using this part anyway, where it's folded up, so it'll be fine. And this is a coffee dyed piece of just scrap fabric that I have. So I'm going to take out my Sizzix and turn it around the correct way, which I'm going to go with. Okay, I'm left-handed, so that's why I'm wanting to turn it around this way, because I want to be able to crank it this way. Okay, I may not be able to get you in frame for all of this, but I will try. And I'll be honest with you, I am very meticulous when it comes to some things, but when it's coming to my Sizzix machine, I just want to get the shape out there the way I want it. So let's see if I can get you where I am loading it. There we go. Okay, so now I have this other plate on top. I'm going to run it through. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Okay, we're running it through. I'm going to run it through again just to see what happens. Okay, and all of this messiness should go away. Take this off. See if my sticker popped out. Okay, it did. So this is actually a sticker now. How cute. This is actually a sticker. It's a fabric sticker. So let's say I wanted to use it on a page, or I wanted to put it inside of another tag. I think I have a few of those lying around. Some tag shapes. Sometimes I've been taking these larger shapes like these and then putting another one inside. But let's just say I just wanted to make this look like I just wanted to put this on a page. So let's just use this, pretend that this is a page. Now, whenever I get ready for it, remember it's not sticky on the back, but when I get ready to do this, I'm just going to be able to take the back off, in theory, which I don't see it why it wouldn't work. You may have to just to get that parchment paper off the back. Okay, and I'm just going to peel it back ever so slightly. Okay, you're in frame. Excellent. Okay, ever so slightly. And I'm going to go ahead and grab like this and just grab the part. And let's just say this is a page. We're experimenting. Okay, and there it is. Voila. There's your sticker. And so if you're not ready to glue things on or whatever, this is a little sticker you can put on here. And then you could take whatever else you wanted to. If you had a flower in a sticky form, let's just say, let me see if I can take this up. Okay, let's just say, and I may save these for later. I use these little scraps. I rip them and put them in little clusters and whatever that I want to have. Okay, so throwing that away. So let me get a little bit smaller piece of paper. Let me cut this out. Okay. All right, so, you know, we're pretending this is a page, and we've just decided that we want to grab one of our little stickers that we've made and put it in the bag. Okay, so we wanted, let's say we want a little different texture. I love the way that this fabric, you can turn your scrap fabric into stickers. It's so fun. Just any of your die cuts you can do this with. It's just a matter of getting it on where you want. So let's try. I do like the idea of taping the washi down. Or, yeah, putting the washi down. Taping the washi. Okay. Using the tape, the washi tape to tape. Okay. I'm getting all tongue-tied. All right, I'm using, actually, just able to use the same piece. It still has this left stickum on it. So we are recycling, and we're feeling less guilty about using up our washi tape, or maybe not. Some of you may be dying to use it up. I have some that I'm just like, somebody else would really like this, but I'm not going to use it, but I'm not going to throw it away because I try to be resourceful. So I don't know. Let's see if we want to do one of these smaller stickers like this. What's something that would fit inside the tag? Say I want to build on these with little stickers. Let's see. Okay, maybe we'll just use, this one looks kind of more like the one in the design, if you can see. Boop. There you go. Okay. So maybe it would be cute on here. So of course you can go back and put, you may not be having to, you may not, just because it's a tag shape doesn't mean that you have to cut it out for a tag. I mean, it can be like, it's a tag that's adhered to your journal page. I mean, you can use them however you want. So let's say I want to go back and I want to make, I don't remember what I said, I was a flower, but what kind of material do we want to use? Do I want to use washi? Do I want to use fabric again? Because you can put, your washi down and roll it out and make things out of washi, which I'm going to try in just a second. But let's say I want to build on this little flower. Maybe I want, let's see, maybe I want a piece of paper this time. So let me take I have a little scrap here. So I'm going to, let's try this. Let's try taking, let's try this. Let's try laying our washi onto the paper this time. Not washi, I'm sorry, our double-sided tape. I'm just lining them up next to each other. Oh, I probably didn't need all this with the flowers. Maybe we'll put two of different kinds through there. Okay, so I'm going to try. Okay, going to lay them down here. So maybe that I think works better. No trial and error. Okay, so I'm going to I want to make, so I'm going to want to put something else down on there. Doopy head. That's what I call myself. Doopy head. Doopy head. I get doopy head sometimes when I get in the throes of crafting. I don't know about you, but yeah, I go in doopy head mode. That's doopy head, not dookie head. Okay. All right, so I am wanting to, all right, what was I doing? I was wanting to make a sticker. Okay, I need to turn this around. Okay, I'm getting turned around. Trying to turn all this stuff around. Okay, I want to put this down. This double-sided tape. I want to go ahead and put it down on this way so I have the fabric facing, or the, I wanted to make these Flowers. That's what they're called, flowers, yeah. So I have had 2 cups of coffee, and I can't tell if it's increased brain function or if it's on overload. Okay, this is sliding off. And stop being so difficult. Stick it down on the plate. Only the other way. Do behave. Do you have your own nickname that you call yourself in the craft room when you do something? You know, it's like you're chiding yourself. Yeah, it's kind of like how this is for me. Okay. And this is not making any sense either because I realized what I was leaving out. Oh my goodness, this is going to require using double-sided tape on both sides. You've probably been yelling that to me through the camera this whole time. All right, this, since I'm using a piece of paper, is going to require that I have double-sided tape on this side as well, I guess. Let me think about that. No, I was correct. All right, so I'm going to make these. I'm going to make these little stickers. Now, I may want, if I can't get this to hold down, I may come in with some of my washi here and hold down my die cuts. Okay, this washi shot. Let's try another piece. Remember, it'll cut through this washi, which is why, so cut through the washi, but it'll hold it down in place for you. Now, this looks like a mess again, but maybe not. Let's try again. I'd love to experiment. Don't you ever just get in the craft room, have a crazy idea, and then you're just like, okay, I have to try that. Well, I don't have a lot of time to play around. I've already played around enough this morning. I have orders to get out for my Etsy store, which is linked in the description box if you're interested in my Etsy store. So I have to put this video out, and then I have to do that. So playtime is basically over after this video for me. But, you know, just get it in when I can. And it's been a bit since I've put out a video, and I apologize for that. It's just been kind of a little bit wild around here. But I have some neat stuff in my Etsy store if you would like to check it out. Okay, so I'm going to pull this off of here. And then I am going to, sometimes these things like this get a little bit pokey. Not pokey, but okay. So under here, these are not sticky. Remember, we have our back, the wax or the parchment paper on the back to preserve them whenever we want to use them. So they don't have to be used right away, which is the beauty of it. You don't have to glue everything on there. You already have an adhesive surface, and you can do whatever you want because you can make your own. Okay, so sometimes these little things can be tedious to get out, so I want to get my sticker out of here. So I'm going to use my toothpick. Now remember, the top is going to be the paper, so it's not sticking to the top. I just have to get it out of here. And like I said, you don't even have to use paper punches. You can cut these out with scissors, however you want to do it. You don't have to have die cut. You can have paper punches. You can have, you know, whatever. But I want to get this little guy out. Okay, now, he's not sticky yet, but he has stick 'em under, right? So I can lay him down and place him wherever I want. And let's say I may want to just put him in the middle. So, and this is a no glue method, which is perfect. So, I think I have it. I think I have it. So making your own stickers, you don't have to, you can make them out of whatever you want. So basically, you have any material that you want to use that can be cut by Sizzix at your disposal to make your own stickers. So let's see. I actually think I'm just going to stick this here. So now I have some, you know what, let's do, oops. I waited, should have done this before I took it off, but let's give it a little bit of color. Maybe just ink around the sides. I hope I haven't ruined the sticky. That's kind of a sloppy ink around the side job, but sometimes we have to just come in and try to do it as best as we can. Okay, now put this down. That is really cute. Okay, so we have this. Now, I could have inked around my sticker before I put it on my ticket or tag sticker if I wanted to, but I didn't. Now, so I have two different textures here on my page. I have a flowery texture, and I have this, but maybe I'm not through yet. Maybe I haven't finished. This can always be cut out and used as a tag as it is. So let's see what we come up with here first. Let's say I do want to make this a tag instead of leaving it as a book page. So let me take this off. And, you know, I am one of those people who cannot stand a messy desk. And when I have to get a messy desk, I have to clean up some as I go along. And sometimes it is absolute torture for me to not be able to clean up while you're on film. That just drives me crazy. But I can't have everything, right? Okay, I want to put a little, hole in this because I think I do want to make because on the back I will have a cute little tag, cloth tag with cutting it out. So you can make these, you know, as big as you want to or as small as you want to. I'm going to grab these snippets. These are great on your hands. I call them I call them snippets by Fiskars. But basically, I do want to do some more of this. So before I chop it off, let's go ahead and take my hole punch. And I have these different size hole punches. I kind of want to do a small one. So let's see. I'm going to go in here. And because I don't have any sticky yet, I can go and put this where I want. So sometimes you can kind of see where you want it in here. So like this, you can use this to center it, get it in the center, but I also want to make sure that I do this as best as possible. There we go. Okay, so now we have this little thing out. Now, let's do one last thing. You can put a little pearl here. You can do whatever you want here. I'm going to take some of my drops really quickly. And let's see, let's add a little bit of color to this. I'm going to take my liquid pearls, but you can do anything that you'd like. But I want to kind of bring out this color. I want to bring out a little color in it. So this is Liquid Pearls by Ranger, Rose Gold. And these are just dimensional pearls. This way I have different textures. I'll have this, I'll have the paper, and then I will also have my rose gold stickle in the middle of my flower. So let me just see if this, I always have to make sure that these get started. Always, check these, because when they have, before you start using them on your projects, because they will sneak out on you and mess things up. Okay, and I am bad about doing this. I have the perfect little pearl on here, but I realized I wanted to cut it out. So all right, so I may be out of frame doing this. Let me turn up my halogen a little bit. All right, maybe that made it a little bit better. And I'm going to just cut around, and I can kind of tell if I'm cutting on the fabric. Now, like I said, you could leave this on the page. You can leave it and stamp on it if you want to and not add all of these other elements. But I am really one of those people that really likes to build on texture. So textures, different textures, and three-dimensionality. Okay, get the word, what I'm trying to say. Yes, I think I overdid it with that second cup of coffee. But that's okay. It'll wear off eventually. Okay. Down this side. And you know what? Now, it doesn't matter that I didn't ink my tag, because I can ink it now that I've made a tag out of it. Ha! So there's another way to get around things. Ink it a little bit more on the edge. And if I have a little bit of paper hanging off, you know, around, when I ink it, it'll cover that up. Whoop. Okay. The reason why I love these little snippets so much is they really do make some of this fussy cutting a lot easier. And since you're pushing, you're not having to pull with your hands. It's easier instead of having to do regular scissors the other way. I don't even know where my scissors are. Oh, well, I was going to show you. But these are just pushing down, and these are really great on the hands, especially if you're, you know, your hands, if you're like me and you're always, you know, you do this crafting and this for a living, or you do a lot of it. Okay, so I still have managed not to touch the stickles. Okay, I'm trying. I call them stickles. I'm sorry. They're liquid pearls. They make stickles too, and I have some of those, and they're pretty exciting because they have usually a glistening thing to them. So I am actually going to add a little bit more color since I have that rose gold. I think I'm going to grab just over here just one of my little small things and not use my brown rubber. Okay. I have these little foam things that I put the Fabrifix on here, and I just put them on the bottle, glue them onto the bottle like this. I mean, you know, on the top, and then I adhere the refill foam pads, and then that way I have a variety of daubers without having to buy these guys, because they can get expensive. So I have my black and brown on the daubers. But then, because I have to change those out frequently, but if you're not having to change these out very frequently, you can totally do that with these. And if it comes off, glue it back on. But it doesn't usually come off unless you just don't want to start sliding it around on your paper, because then your Fabrifix may not hold as well. But I usually don't have that problem. So some of these colored ones I don't use as much as my black and brown. So I just have a general brown one. And I just really would love to write to Tim Holtz and ask him to make another brown color that's between the gathered twigs, which is the one I usually use, and the vintage photo one. This one, somehow the gathered twigs sometimes can turn out too dark, and the vintage photo was not light enough. And I just want to say, can you make one called Leftover Coffee or something, you know, still have that distressed old sound to it? I don't know. Yeah, Tim, if you hear that, anybody from Ranger, please, please, that's a request I'm sending out. If I want to grunge this up just a little bit more, I know you're probably like sitting here like, I wish he would just stop, but I am going to put a little topper on my tag. See how things just have morphed? I'm going to go back in with a little bit of brown ink, and so I can make my edges a little bit more distinct on my tag. And I'm also going to flip it over and try not to touch my stickle. And I'm going, or my liquid pearl, because it's not dry. It hasn't dried yet. And I'm going to go back, swoop, around here. And ink this around a little bit. As much as I can. Alright, so far we have, I did put that hole in there a little sideways, but it'll be okay. We won't be able to tell. Alright, so I'm laying it down. And I'm going to just grab a little something. I think I may have something just floating around just to tie on the top, just to finish off my tag. So, okay. Here's some bookbinding thread I was doing. So I'm just going to loop this, like this, loop it. And then I'm going to stick it through my hole, whichever way you want. So let's see. I'm trying to think of which one will show. I think I'm going to go in the back. And goodness, this little tag is so tiny. But I'm going to go around, bring my loop in. Bring my loop in, bring those two through. Goodness, I think the coffee's even made me shaky. I can't even craft. I'm glad I'm not a surgeon. Glad I'm not a surgeon. I wonder if surgeons drink coffee before they do surgery. Probably not. Okay. Yay. If I didn't have to do this stickle so much, it wouldn't be as crazy. But, okay, I'm going to just tie a knot in this and tie another knot. Right over left, left over right, as they say. Or, I think I did that. But, anyway, okay. Then I'm just going to trim this off. Okay, this bookbinding thread has beeswax, or is waxed, and it really makes a great knot when you're tying in your signatures, but it may not always be the best for this, but that's what I had, so I grabbed it. Okay, so there we have a cute little tag, and like I said, you can take these, this little guy, you can put whatever you want through your tags, but yeah, you can make these. Whoops, a little short, but it works. It's a tiny little tag, yay! And you can write on the back of it. But you can make these and keep these in a little plastic bag or whatever you want to do. And then take them out and stick them on whenever you want. Okay, so this would work by using all kinds of things. Like I said, we just saw fabric, we saw paper. I didn't get a chance to get to the washi, but here we go. We have our little tag. And that was so much fun! And you can always go back and add more to it if you want. But I'm going to stop at this. And then I also I love it. I have my fabric texture, my paper. And then when this dries, I'll have my little pearl on the top. Let me get closer. Okay. There it is. All right. So check out my Etsy shop. I have all kinds of neat things in there, especially vintage ephemera kits, vintage and foreign language book pages. I have a lot of the old handmade crochet lace in there. I just got in probably, I don't know, 200 yards of that stuff and all different kinds of things. So I have some pretty pieces, some tatted pieces. And also, and like I said, the link to my Etsy shop will be in the discussion part of this video. So come on over and check it out. There's other things in there too, vintage lace and trim. Like lace that's not, very old. I mean, that is very old. I have new stuff. Check it out. All right. Thank you. And it is the Creator's Attic on Etsy if you want to look it up that way. And just as it is, take care, guys, and creative wishes to everybody. Bye-bye.